Hi, my name is Isabel Thomas, and I'm the current president for Universities Fighting World Hunger. Today, I'm going to give my final presentation for DHN320, which was a community service-oriented credit. So a little bit about me. I have a really in-depth history of advocating and volunteering for people who are food insecure. So I started volunteering at the Storehouse, which is the largest food pantry in New Mexico, really the Southwest, back in 2016. Really, it was like 2013, but I really started going consistently when I could start driving. I then became the first student ambassador for the Storehouse in 2017, which meant a lot to me and was also a really cool job because I got to talk to a lot of middle schoolers about the issue of food insecurity and what the Storehouse does, which is serve 1.2 million meals to about 50,000 people annually, which is just kind of mind-boggling to me. I then got really, really passionate with the organization, so I decided to start a summer fundraiser called Izzy's Hike for Hunger, where I hiked an insane amount of miles in a very, very condensed amount of time. Due to COVID, I could no longer have large groups of people hiking, so I decided to do ABQ Grub Crawl. And so far, the combination fundraiser has raised over $20,000. I knew I wanted to continue my advocacy for food insecurity in college, so I then became the education ambassador my freshman year of Big Blue Pantry, which is the student food pantry on campus, and then I became the student director later. Here that year is actually me going to the Universities Fighting World Hunger National Conference in Maine, which was just a crazy, amazing experience. I then had an amazing opportunity to become the president of UK's chapter of UFWH, and so that's what I'm doing here. So here's just a little blog post kind of talking about what I did. I'm not going to go in depth too much to it, but grub crawl. So I collected food every day for 7 days throughout all of Albuquerque, and I also talked to people to raise money. And yeah, that's sort of how I spent the first half of Corona pandemic. It was pretty amazing. So now I'm going to talk specifically about Universities Fighting World Hunger, which is a fairly new organization, or it's an old organization that has a new rebranding. So it was originally Stop Hunger, and that was my freshman year, and it was established for several years. It was purely an advocacy group. So what it did was it started amazing programs like One Cafe, which gives students the opportunity to get lunch for $1, Swipe Ahead, which gives free meal swipes to any student who needs it, programs like that. But we needed to rebrand to Universities Fighting World Hunger the next year. So this was 2019. And that year was entirely focused on the national conference which was going to be hosted at University of Kentucky. Of course, the pandemic got in the way and a lot of seniors graduated. So it was really a new organization at this point, at the beginning of the summer when I took it on. So I had, again, an amazing opportunity to rebrand and take over and build it how I thought the program needed to go in. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what I did and why. So first off, I changed the mission statement to support on-campus initiatives and organizations with a focus on solving hunger and malnutrition to fulfill the missions of Universities Fighting World Hunger and Presidents United to Solve Hunger. This included hunger-related volunteer opportunities, engaging faculty, staff, and students, and all of this was for the main goal of ending hunger on campus through awareness and advocacy. So the volunteer quadrad, so I really wanted to focus on these 4 pillars. So of course you have service, which is at the top, because that's what everybody thinks of when you're talking about volunteering, service, community building, whatever it may be. But the 3 below it are really the building blocks and the fundamentals to provide service to individuals. So these 3 are discussion, education, and advocacy. So I really built UFWH around these pillars. By creating different opportunities. So for discussion-based, we had weekly meetings with members that focused on open communication and talking about these issues every single week and focusing on a different sector of food insecurity, which is really such a broad issue. The second pillar was education. So again, these weekly meetings focused on a different educational opportunity. I personally did a lot of research so that I was able to talk and communicate with people about this issue that I care really deeply about. We also had these educational events, which we ended up having 5 throughout the semester. And these included movie showings, cooking classes, and guest speakers, which I thought was really amazing. So educating myself before I could educate others, I spent a lot of this semester just making sure that I had all of the information in line and making sure that all of it was in a usable format that I could back with statistics. So I attended Minerva Delgado's Advocacy Against Hunger seminar. She spent her entire life advocating against hunger, and she decided to do this seminar for UFWH presidents, which I thought was really beneficial for me. I also attended most of the Faces of Hunger showings, so I always think that it's really important to get a face to what you're advocating against, and though I have a lot of personal experience, I wanted to see these stories from across the United States, and this gave me the opportunity to do so. I'm also a human nutrition major, a big shocker, I'm sure most of us are. So that always helps. And then finally, talking with community partners. So this includes peers, Tammy Stevenson, Kendra, just different individuals throughout University of Kentucky's campus to spread awareness and educate. So finally, the third pillar was advocacy. So during one of our weekly meetings, we ended up writing a letter to our state senators, which we got a lot of successful responses back. I say state senators just because all of us were from throughout the country. So we got responses from hometowns, which was really amazing. Finally, service, which is the top pillar, the one that everybody sees and the one that's most apparent. We wanted to make sure that people were getting groundwork experience because even if once you have all the building blocks, you want to be able to use those in a format that's actively helping people. So to be a member, you have to volunteer 5 times throughout the semester. So volunteering, we were working with 3 different partners. 2 of them really fell through this semester just because of COVID, but we're hoping to work with them next semester as well. Campus Kitchen or Farm to Fork, which prepares and serves food, picks it up, and then delivers it. We then have God's Pantry, which helps, and which is a food bank actually. So it collects food and then distributes it out all across the Kentucky area to provide food to those in need. And then finally, Glean Kentucky, which goes to different markets, stores, and farms and collects food that would otherwise go to waste. So the member requirements is that they must attend 5 participation events, so volunteering. I was really hoping to move that up to 8 events, but due to COVID, I just didn't think that that was very doable. They also must attend one of at the time was 3 educational events. We actually went above and beyond and did 5, my exec team, which was truly astounding to me. And then 1 fun event, so that was any other organization on campus. If they were having a movie showing or a bingo night, whatever it may be, they could attend and then tell me about it. And then finally, weekly meetings. I thought that these were really important. As you saw, the pillars, all of them were tied back to these weekly meetings, and especially for new members, which all of us are, I thought it was extremely beneficial to go to these. So at the end of the day, why is UFWH important and why do I care about it so deeply? UFWH is an active campus resource that advocates for students on the University of Kentucky's campus struggling with food insecurity. By volunteering, educating, and participating in meetings, they can help the community in a meaningful way. So I just think that's a really great way to sum it up because I want every member to care about the people that they're working with, educate themselves, and be able to realize that anyone could become food insecure. People you meet, see, know, walk past, are friends with every single day are struggling with some form of food insecurity. And if there's anything that you can do to help, it can make a really huge difference. So finally, if you have any questions, please let me know. Or if you just want to like talk about it, I love talking about advocacy for food insecurity and hunger. And that's my email if you want to get in contact with me. Thank you so much.